Hi, and welcome to the video on dealing with a telephonic interview from careerguide.com. In this video, we will discuss some tips to deal effectively with a telephonic interview. We will also discuss an approach to answer some of the most frequently asked questions in this interview. Employers usually conduct the telephonic interviews to shortlist the best candidates whom they would like to see for a personal interview. Recruitment is a time-consuming job, and the telephonic interviews provide the recruiters a good opportunity to screen the best candidates. You might feel that a phone interview is easier to manage, which it definitely is for the convenience of location it offers to you. But don't be mistaken to take it lightly. All the etiquettes and tips that you have learned for a personal interview apply as it is to a telephonic interview as well. To succeed in a phone interview, make sure that you take it as seriously as a personal interview. Certain things which you should essentially practice to crack that first round of interview and see the interviewer personally are: first of all, avoid distractions. It is important to schedule the interview at a time when there are minimum number of distractions. If you are at work during the time of interview, schedule it during the lunch time or after the work hours. If you are at home, make sure that you are away from the television and in a separate room where there is no noise. Facial expressions and body language. It may sound odd, but yes, the facial expressions and body language do get conveyed through your words. A gentle smile and a confident body language will definitely help you in coming across as a better candidate. Use a phone with good connection. A phone connection in a telephonic interview is vital. If you are using a cell phone, make sure that the battery is fully charged, the phone is getting full signals, and the waiting calls do not keep beeping in the background. A landline is usually free from all the problems. Prefer to use it over a cell phone whenever possible. Listen carefully and speak clearly. Make sure that you listen carefully to the questions. If you think you may not have understood the question clearly, you can rephrase the question in your own words and ask it again to be sure. Make sure that you speak clearly, slowly, and your voice is loud enough. Don't rush. Many candidates feel that they need to answer every question very quickly in a phone interview. However, if you take a moment or two to compose your thoughts before you actually start speaking, it is absolutely fine, even in a phone interview too. Have a glass of water ready on your desk. Sometimes the interview might stretch longer and you may feel a need to moisten your throat. So keep a glass of water ready at your desk. Now, let us see some questions that you might be asked during the interview and the ways to deal with them. The first one being, please tell me something about yourself. This question is an icebreaker and is asked to open up the communication. However, it also offers you an opportunity to prove that you are the best choice for the position under discussion. In your phone interview, answer this question by providing some information about your relevant work experience and any specific qualities you possess. You may also talk about some relevant projects that you have done. Also, you can discuss about your educational background if it adds some value to the job you are being interviewed for. It is extremely important to be enthusiastic during a phone interview. The interviewer is not able to see your body language or facial expressions, but they can definitely feel the enthusiasm and smile in your voice. Why did you apply for this job? This question should be answered by relating the requirements of the job with your work experience, personal qualities, and education background. Keep the answer focused on the requirements of the job rather than talking about how the job can help your career grow and earn more. Why do you want to leave your current job? There can be enormous reasons for you to leave the job, but keep the focus of your answer on the potential of the new job to offer you more responsibilities and challenges, and hence an opportunity to grow as a professional and improve as a person. Why do you think should we hire you for this position? A company hires an individual if it believes that he can perform the job under discussion. To perform a job, you require a certain set of technical skills accompanied by some personal qualities. Some of these skills and qualities get developed as we grow and gain some professional experience. So, focus your answer on the qualities and skills you possess, which will help you do the job well. Relate the job requirements as listed in the job notification with your candidature and say that since you meet all these requirements, you think you should be hired for this position. Of course, the confidence in your voice will get reflected as you speak over the phone. Can you describe your current duties? Keep a list of your major duties ready as you start sending your job applications. This will also prevent you from applying to a wrong job. When faced with this question, list out your major duties and also talk about your major achievements pertaining to those duties. The employer is more interested in knowing what did you do with those assigned duties. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? Through this question, the interviewer tries to find out how ambitious the candidate is. Recruitment is a costly affair. So, they try to understand if the candidate is over-ambitious to stay with the company for some years or months. While answering this question, convey that you are ambitious but would not switch the job soon after joining, just for a couple of thousands. Rather, you would try to grow with the company. To answer this question, you can say something like, 5 years down the line, I see myself in a responsible position where the company treats me as its asset and gives me an opportunity to be a part of the important decisions. Why should we invite you for a personal meeting? As we discussed earlier, telephonic interviews are conducted to save on the time and meet the most relevant candidates. To answer this question, you can say something like, I believe I possess the experience and qualities required to do this job very well. I have given you a glimpse of what I have done for my past employers, and I hope that you will find it interesting to know more about how can I add value to your company. A personal meeting with you will provide us an opportunity to discuss my suitability for this position in more detail. What are your key strengths? The strengths which will help you perform your job better will be the ones most interesting to the interviewer. So, before you take up the call, read the job notification carefully and be ready with some qualities you possess that will help you do the job well. If you believe that you lack some major quality required to do the job, say that given an opportunity, you can quickly learn it. Back this up with an example from the past where you learned things quickly and did well in the job. This should of course be said in a confident voice. What are your weaknesses? Everyone in this world has some or the other weakness. So, it is absolutely okay for you also to have some. To answer this question, you can offer a weakness totally unrelated to the job. That is something that will not have any impact on the way you perform your duties. For example, if you don't know how to cook, it is going to be immaterial to your employer. You can also take the word weakness as liberally as you want and offer a weakness like my child, ice creams or pizzas. What experience do you have in a particular area? The interviewer might be asking you this question because that particular area might be the key performance area for that role. If you possess experience in the domain or the area the interviewer is talking about, tell him that I possess a good experience in this area and then go on to discuss some important nitty-gritties. You may also want to quote some examples from the past which demonstrate your performance in that field. For example, if the interviewer asks you about your experience in dealing with press, you can refer them to some of the items that you got released to the press and some other online material that supports your answer. Once, an interviewer asked me about my experience in dealing with the press or writing the press releases. The best thing I could think of was to refer them to my online press releases. My work actually spoke for me, and they were quite impressed with it. Remember, in a telephonic interview, the chances of an interviewer sitting in front of a laptop connected to internet are higher. So you can use this interview in your favor by providing them an example of your work even when they can't see your portfolio physically. Are you open to relocation or night shifts? One of the reasons for conducting a telephonic interview is that the interviewer might be calling up from some far off place, and he might be looking for a candidate to be placed there. Similarly, if the interviewer asks about your openness to work in night shifts, they might be considering only the candidates who can work at night. Be straightforward with your answer in both these cases. If you are sure that you cannot relocate or work in night shifts, inform them right away. Wasting their time and informing about your inability to work at the required location or time at a later stage would just irritate them. However, if you are open to but unsure about relocating or night shifts for this particular job, keep the discussion open and ask them for more job details that you would like to know before making a decision. You can then request them to provide you some time to discuss with the family. Also tell them that you will be back to them with an answer in a day or two. Make sure that you keep your commitment of informing them on time. Are you open to traveling? How many days in a month will you be able to be out of the city overnight? Again, traveling might be the key requirement to take up a job which you will get to know through the job notification or during the interview. If you are sure that you cannot travel due to some personal reasons, inform the interviewer right away. However, if you are open to consider traveling, depending on the position and chances to grow, tell the interviewer that I am open to traveling, but before making any specific commitments, I would like to know more about the job. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank yourself in a particular field? An interviewer will usually ask this question for a field which is of prime importance to the job. If you think you fare well in that field, rate yourself and convey it in a confident voice. You can also take the help of an example from the past where you did really well in that field. This will further justify your answer. What do you know about our company? It is extremely important to research the company well before you take the interview call. Your answer to this question shows your interest in the job and the company. Your inability to answer this question satisfactorily simply conveys that you are not serious about the position under discussion, as you have come unprepared. Make sure that you have seen the company's website and have information about the events or activities if the company has been in news recently. What do you know about this position? Your answer to this question again demonstrates your preparation for the interview and your seriousness about the position. Make sure that you have read the job requirements carefully and understood them well. This question also gives you an opportunity to relate your past experience and skills to the requirements of the job and show the interviewer that you are the most suitable candidate for this position. Describe a situation in which you led a team. You can expect this question especially if you are being interviewed for a middle or senior management position. Through this question, the interviewer tries to find out about your ability to take people along with you and get the job done successfully. Your communication skills and ability to build up confidence in people play a major role here. Take an example from the recent past where you worked in a big team and led the group to answer this question. Focus your answer on the fact that you were able to achieve the results successfully with everyone being ready to cooperate willingly as they believed that it was their project. What has been your greatest achievement? To answer this question, take an example from the recent past. An example from a very long past would mean that you have not achieved anything that big since then. How much salary do you expect? Since this is the first round of interview, it might be difficult to specify a salary until and unless you know the job in detail. To answer this question, you may say something like, I would like to find out more about this position through a personal meeting with you. I believe it will be better on my part to discuss the salary after knowing all the details of the job. When could you start working here? An interviewer would usually ask this question when he is somewhat convinced that you are a suitable candidate for the job and wants to check your availability. So, provide him a time frame, keeping your notice period and other commitments in mind. Don't get too excited as this is still the first round of interview. When would you be able to come in for an interview? Again, the interviewer will usually ask this question when he thinks that you are a suitable candidate and wants to see you for a personal meeting. Fix up a mutually convenient time. If you are going for the interview in your working hours, make sure that you take a leave from the office. This would further strengthen the interviewer's belief in your integrity. Do you have any questions for us? This is usually the last question of an interview. Most of the candidates answer this question with a plain no. However, no as an answer to this question might convey that you are not very interested in this position or company. So, have some intelligent questions ready about the job or the company to ask the interviewer. These can be questions about your growth prospects, work environment, etc. With this, we hope that you will be able to crack your telephonic interview successfully. All the best. Thank you.